Welcome to Tech News Briefing for Thursday, April 27th. I'm Zoe Thomas for The Wall Street Journal. The British Competition and Markets Authority rejected Microsoft's $75 billion deal to buy Activision Blizzard. Activision, of course, is the publisher of games such as Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. And the CMA's ruling is calling into question the viability of the deal. Joining me to discuss this development is WSJ reporter Kim Mackrael. So Kim, what did the UK regulator say about why it rejected this deal?
Their big concern is with competition in the cloud video gaming market, which is a relatively newer market that's growing quickly, not as big as the market for console gaming. So, gaming on Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation. It's a smaller market, a rapidly growing market, and one where they're concerned that if Microsoft owns Activision, and Activision is a major maker of very popular games, that could actually damage competition in the cloud video gaming market.
Kim, one of the big issues that was talked about before this decision came out was the role of the Call of Duty franchise and whether that would be available on platforms apart from Microsoft's Xbox. Did that come up at all in the UK regulator's decision? Yeah,
it definitely did. So Call of Duty, it's a really, really popular game. And during the regulatory review process, Microsoft said that it signed some agreements to make Call of Duty and other Activision games available on other consoles, and said that it offered to Sony to do that as well, and in the cloud gaming market as well. But the UK regulator, it acknowledged that those deals were made and that Microsoft had offered to make commitments to the regulator to make sure Call of Duty was available to other service providers. But the CMA, the regulator, basically said it doesn't think that goes far enough.
Other regulators are still deciding whether to approve this deal. Will the UK's decision influence them at all?
So not directly. The regulators have their own processes and it won't change the legal arguments that they're looking at, but it actually might take some pressure off of the US regulator in particular, because if this block from the UK stays, if Microsoft is not successful in an appeal, then there's kind of less reason for the US to pursue this case on its own.
We've seen the CMA kind of step into this bigger role in terms of being a technology watchdog. How did Britain start to take on this position?
Once Britain exited from the European Union, the CMA started getting these much bigger global deals to look at. So in the past, those cases would have been looked at by the European Union's competition watchdog. And now increasingly these cases are being picked up by the CMA itself. And we're seeing the CMA emerge as really a pretty tough global regulator. And with this decision is maybe signaling it could be the toughest global regulator.
All right, then what does this mean for Microsoft? What can it do now?
Yeah, so Microsoft has said it's going to appeal in this case. The bar for an appeal is high. So with the UK's system, an appeal has to meet a threshold for judicial review, which basically means that they have to convince the appeals tribunal that the decision was irrational, or that it didn't follow proper procedure, or that it was illegal. That's quite a high bar, and that goes beyond just trying to say, we think you need to take another look at it.
Can Microsoft move forward without the UK's approval?
Yeah, that's a really tricky area. It seems at this point it's very unlikely that it would even try to. And the reason for that is that video gaming is a global industry. The deal is a global deal. And carving out a big market like the UK is not something that's seen as really practical for the companies.
All right, that's WSJ reporter Kim Mackrael. Thanks for joining us, Kim. And that's it for today's Tech News Briefing. For more tech stories, head over to our website, WSJ.com. I'm Zoe Thomas for The Wall Street Journal. Thanks for listening.